Recently there've been some leaked images of what could be the DJI Mini 4 Pro. Today I'm going to go over what I think about these photos combined with what's come out with the DJI Air 3, because I think if you put together we can get a better picture of what's likely to come in the upcoming drone. I previously did a kind of fun video where I slightly mocked some of the older leaked images that someone just put together for a bit of fun, and it's crazy how people on Twitter take that as serious. But I do think these look more realistic. I think when you see these slightly blurred images, these have been leaked by Jasper Ellens, who does have a good track record. Now, if you zoom really closely, I know it's very blurred where it says what probably is the Mini 4, or more likely I think is the Mini 4 Pro. I think that looks like a 4. Now look, it's very, very blurred. You could argue that there isn't a Pro there, but remember on the DJI Mini 3 Pro that the Pro is quite faint in relation to the Mini. Interestingly, the propellers, the design of those, you know, it's a very different look to this drone, but then it feels like, say, the Mavic 3 or now the Air 3, this is a combination between that and the Mini 3 Pro. So that's why, to me, this looks legit. What I think is very exciting about this is the camera does look very similar in size, possibly even the same size. We might get the 3/4 inch sensor. I think we most likely will do with this. But I won't be put off with that, guys, because we're seeing reviews now coming out from the DJI Air 3. Not everything's about the sensor size. They've really improved the low light performance of that drone and just the general the general image quality. And I think that is very exciting for the Mini series. I did say I was excited if we had the omnidirectional sensors on that video, and this certainly looks like we'll get that. If we get a slightly better performance, particularly at sunset, those of you guys that follow me and follow my tutorials will know that I love a good sunset shot. I always target the forecast, when can I go at sunset, sunrise, and I think the Mini 3 Pro is really good for its size, but I do see some shots and I do see some noise at sunset, particularly towards the end, and it starts to fall apart a little bit. I would be excited just for 20% improvement. I love the Mini 3 Pro, and I will also say that part of me doesn't want this drone to come out tomorrow. I'm sure it won't come out tomorrow. I think the earliest that we could see this would be November. It would fit in with the timing of the other series. So we have the Mini 2, 18 months later we have the Mini 3 Pro, and then 18 months later from that would then give us the Mini 4 Pro in November. However, even then, this does feel a little bit too close to now when the Air 3 has just been released. But DJI release a lot of drones, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if this came out in November. I think we'll get all the other things, like I'm confident we'll get true vertical, so the gimbal will rotate as we get on the Mini 3 Pro. I don't think we'll get variable aperture, guys. I would love it, but I really don't see that's realistic, because we just get a sense of what's coming out with the Air 3, and they're not going to give us features that's lacking on that drone. So we can hope for maybe slightly better tracking performance. Drones are getting, it's getting more competitive. Companies like Autel are bringing out their own versions as well, which they're catching up. At some point, I think DJI are going to have to give waypoints to the Mini series. Whether it happens on the Mini 4 Pro or even further down the line, we'll just have to wait and see. I actually bought this a couple of months after it was released, and part of me would like to, when the Mini 4 comes out, Mini 4 Pro, I would like to have that drone and keep this as a spare. I'll still have my care refresh. And look, I would never fly my drone recklessly, but it might just, you see a little gap between some trees, go for it, when otherwise you wouldn't do, because it's like risk reward. You push your drone through those gaps knowing that you've got care refresh and you've got a couple of months left on it. It's not the end of the world. If, let's say you take 10 shots and 10 of them are amazing, and then on your 11th shot you do crash your drone, you have to get care refresh. You've paid for it all this time. I know you have to pay the premium, but maybe it's worth it for capturing the odd absolutely stunning shot. So I would never want to crash a drone. I've done it once before and damaged it, had to send it back. But you have to think about guys like Sam Calder, Nicholas Christie. They do risk their drone to get these shots sometimes. And I know Nicholas Christie, he said that he's destroyed some drones, but at the end of your trip or whatever, you've still got Care Fresh, you have to be willing sometimes to risk in order to capture these stunning shots. So I never want to destroy this drone. I want to hopefully keep it and keep it for as long as I can, but ultimately your footage is more important than like the actual drone. In the long run, your footage is what's going to live on. Whilst we're talking about sub 250 gram drones, guys, those of you in the UK, this is incredibly important to make you aware of this. The Civil Aviation Authority have put forward a call for input, which is our chance to reply to some of their suggestions of what could happen and potentially limit some of our freedoms for the sub 250 gram drone. So pay attention, guys, to this date. For the 7th of September 2023 is a final date for responding to this. Make sure you like this video to draw more people's attention to this, so they got the opportunity to also reply to put forward their case. This paragraph worries me. We are also evaluating whether exclusions for users of UAS weighing below 250 grams remain appropriate. This reflects the increasing capabilities of these UAS and the risks they pose, such as entering restricted airspace or unlawfully collecting personal and sensitive data. Could this be a response to more auditing channels? Now, I would argue that auditing channels, they're going to carry on whether or not they flying 250 gram drones. And if you look at the thumbnails when they're filming security guards, police, etc., those are always the shots captured on mobile phones. The actual drone flights, you know, they fly the drone up there, they capture the roofs, they're using the wide angle lens of the Mini 3 Pro or whichever drone they're using. It's really not revealing anything there. It's more about the confrontation. So I think auditing channels, whether or not these laws come into effect, they're just going to carry on, and if anything they might get more argumentative because they've got less drone shots to show, therefore they're going to provoke security staff more to get the views, to get the clicks. Now, whether you're in favour of auditing channels or not, let's leave that out of this video, but the suggestions here that perhaps businesses are putting pressure on the CAA to respond to auditing channels. They don't want their business secrets being leaked out. But look, if you're sending your drone up there, getting wide angle shots flying down on the roofs of businesses, then people are still going to turn up with their mobile phones, stand on the pavement and record them anyway. So I'm going to put that forward to the CAA in my response to this. In chapter 3, they bring up the possibility of remote ID, and will this be applied to sub 250 gram drones? So if this is something you're passionate about, guys, then this is your chance. Again, they mention to collect private or sensitive data without consent. If you want to pause this screen, read through it thoroughly. Let them know your thoughts about remote ID, your thoughts about taking away our freedom and that sort of thing, and what impact would this have on you with your drone business, with your well-being, you going out, you know, the positive mental well-being of going out with your drone. I'll put links in the description both to this long document and also where you can fill in your response to this, because they're asking for our call for input from drone operators. They're saying they're going to listen to us. Whether they do, we'll have to wait in time. But I think it's worth, really do think about your responses to this, guys. Think about it hard, put forward, because drones are really important to a lot of us, and some of the restrictions they could place on sub 250 gram drones is very worrying. Those of us that do rush out and get this new Mini 4 Pro, there will be numerous firmware updates that we have to do. That's something we have to live with, something we have to factor with. Maybe don't give us all the features, and that'll be quite frustrating. You know, it gives drone channels something to talk about. All these, you know, like I say, there's too many firmware update videos, they're too long. So if you've got this drone, keep flying it. If you want to buy it, go and buy this now. There's no guarantee when this will come out. You can get a great price now on the DJI Mini 3 Pro. So I wouldn't hold on and wait for the new drone. Just get what you've got. You're more important than the drone. On my channel, I've got loads of tutorial videos, so check those out. Hit the subscribe button, and that's more important. We can talk about the specs, but your education, you're learning your drone moves. Ultimately, that's what's going to stand you out from the crowd. And most of the shots, people are not really going to see the difference between the Mini 3 Pro and the Mini 4 Pro from what it comes out. We tend to be more critical about our work, you know, we look for noise. I think our audience isn't really going to see much difference. I do think the omnidirectional sideways obstacle avoidance would be really nice, and for doing tracking things like with your car and that sort of thing, that'll be a really nice feature. So I'm quite excited to have that, but overall, I'm just going to carry on with this. And let's say hypothetically this doesn't come out for another year, I'm good with that. I'm just gonna crack on with this, keep going on my trips, just enjoying having such a lightweight drone with really good image quality. And yeah, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you guys soon.